telling a story that might help you explain why I am who I am and why I act the way I do. Now I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not going to be able to go home. I told my mom I might tell her. Listen, she said, you don't have to tell her that. And every now and then, this car would drive up. And this lady named Miss Alice would get out of the car. And I would go up because I'm like, Miss Alice didn't quite look like us. So I was very curious as to why she was driving up on our lane. And so she would come up with boxes of shoes in her hand. And my grandmother would come up, proud, humble, not rich. But that was my grandmother who looked after me. And she would say, hello, Miss Alice, they would embrace. And this lady, who had to be at least half my grandmother's age, would call my grandmother by her first name. Hi, Maddie, how you doing? Miss Alice, I'm fine. And as an 8 or 9-year-old kid, I was angry. I was angry because this lady, Miss Alice, was never too young to call my grandmother by her first name. And my grandmother was never got old enough to call her by her first name. Now, I had a problem with that. And I asked her, I said, why? She said, I used to work for her family. And that's just the way it was. And she would bring me shoes. And I'm like, she's bringing my grandmother. My grandmother. I don't care what my grandmother was doing. That was my grandmother. She's bringing these hand-me-down shoes. I said, why is she bringing these shoes? And I looked at the box. I'm like, these aren't even your size. Now, my grandmother worked for that family. And the best Miss Alice could do was come around every now and then and bring hand-me-down shoes and shoes that did not fit. Do you know how that influences my 8 or 9-year-old girl? Yeah. Let me tell you why I tell that story that will get me in a whole world of trouble with Miss Alice's descendants and my current family. It's because oh, I'm in trouble. It's because those lessons help shape the way I approach my job and what we call Broadway. Because let me say this to you. Every community, every nappy-headed, yes I said it, nappy-headed child deserves to be not only connected, but to be proud of who he or she is. The internet, open access to this platform, would allow a little child who saw the inequities of rural South Carolina, who might not have seen the hope of getting out that land with her bare feet, the connection to the world will allow her to see that there was much more out there than that dirt road. Let me say to you that it is part of our job. It is my job as a part of our commitment to connect these communities, to see to it that the platform is open, that opportunities are endless for every man, woman, and child in this nation. That is our obligation. That is our mission. That is our call. And regardless of my title, regardless how politically correct I am supposed to be each and every day, I say to you that I am passionate, was raised passionate about having an open platform, and I am here as a partner in this fight to ensure that it happens. Now, this is the last, yes, I say the last frontier for all of us. Radio, practically gone. Television, practically gone. How many of us own radio or television stations in this room? And how many of us, if you don't own them, how many of us do you think you can afford it? Those platforms, as significant as they are in our everyday lives, in terms of us having more of a say, in terms of it being more inclusive, we have honestly limited say-so there. But with the internet, the sky is still the limit. That is why it's important for me to be engaged with you. That is why it's important for you to come to the FCC, be more engaged in every single entity, the Department of Justice, all of us, to make sure that we get the rules of the road right, because if we don't, I, at least for the not so distant future, do not see another significant platform for which to express ourselves fully. It is important. It is important that your voices are loud and clear on the significance of this issue. I cannot think of a more significant, overarching civil rights issue than this. The ability for us to communicate worldwide. A little nappy-headed girl in North Smyrna, South Carolina, did not have the ability